Okay, so we're going to be talking about the most underrated comic book shows. This is like my second attempt doing this because I forgot to click record last time. So let's get straight into it. Honorable mentions. So, honorable mentions are I hear they're very underrated, I hear they're very good, I just haven't seen them. Doom Patrol. I hear it's really, really good. I just haven't seen it. Cloak and Dagger, I hear these two, Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways, I hear are very underrated. Once again, I just haven't seen it. And Swamp Thing, it got canceled its first episode, but I hear it encapsulated all the energy that made the comic great. And Sandman, I put here because I don't see many people talk about it. Also, I didn't know this show existed till yesterday. Anyways, I don't hear people talk about this show, even though it's based off of was what most people consider one of the greatest comic books runs that DC ever released. So I find that a little bit odd. It, I presume it's probably a great show. It's just no one ever talks about it. I haven't seen it, so yeah. Anyways, I will explain what I believe underrated is. So I think underrated is more or less these two things. A, you're really, really good, but people don't mention you a lot. Like Hawkeye. Honestly, that probably could have made the list. Hawkeye, quite a good show with a little bit disappointing finale. Also, same applies to Moon Knight. Those two shows. No one really ever talks about them, but everyone when they do talk about it being good. Um, and there are gonna be examples, like that on the list. And the other example is yes, people acknowledge that it's really good, but oftentimes they understate how good it is. So those are two examples, and this next one actually kinda is both of them. This Legends of Tomorrow. No one talks about Legends of Tomorrow ever, and I don't know why. It's a really good show. I'd actually put it above The Flash, especially since those last like 3, 4 seasons of The Flash kind of sucked. But I thought this was a really good, the only show that had in the Arrowverse that had more than 4 seasons that ended up being consistent outside of maybe Arrow. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. Seasons 3, 7, and 2 were all great, especially the villains of those seasons. And John Constantine was such an amazing character, as well as Sarah. Honestly, the cast may be my favorite Arrowverse cast. It was really good of a show, but it just didn't get any credit. People never bring it up, and no one says how good it is, and people often undermine how good it is compared to other shows. So I think it's really underrated. But I will say the reason why is probably because I think the producers hated this show. And of course, it didn't follow like a superhero that people know. Everyone knows The Flash. A lot of people know Supergirl. A lot of people know Arrow. No one really knows Legends of Tomorrow, probably because they are a bunch of ragtag groups, and oftentimes I think some of them are original characters. So really, people don't really know these guys. So of course it doesn't get as much viewership. But another reason that I find is that the producers just hated it. Crossovers. Legends of Tomorrow was so hated in the crossovers. Other than Invasion, I don't think any crossover treated Legends of Tomorrow with respect. Um, they were just completely cut out of Elseworlds. Only the like 4 main characters that appeared on Flash and Arrow were in Crisis on Earth X. Don't even get me started on Crisis on Infinite Earths, where in their own episode they're still sidelined. Like, what are we on about? They also were the only ones to not have build up to Crisis. But anyways, I think they're just really underrated because they just were hated by the producers in the fact that they were like never involved. Like Flash and Arrow, Flash and Supergirl, they all had their connecting episodes. I don't think Legends of Tomorrow had a single one of those. So yeah. It was next to Stargirl. I think Stargirl is just consistently great. I don't think people undermine the quality. I just don't think people talk about it. I mean, it was a show that came out that was iffy if it's a part of the Arrowverse, and it came off, even if it was, it came off the part where the Arrowverse was kind of dying. So really, this is a weird show. Eclipso was great, and honestly, each season was consistently like an 8 out of 10 season, 8 out of 10 or higher season. All of them were very consistent. So yeah. Next is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I will say one thing. First season. Not the greatest. So the first season kind of started off with a rocky start. The pilot is the only episode in the entire show. I don't care what anyone else says. The only episode in the entire show that I can just straight up say is bad. It's a bad episode. That's what the pilot is. The episodes, like next like 4 episodes, were okay, and I remember episode 6 being pretty good at about building the Fitzsimmons relationship. But overall, the first like 10 to 12 episodes of the series weren't really intriguing to me. I mean, like A Magical Place and Tahiti were pretty good. But yeah, then episodes 13 through 16, there was improvement. There was most definitely improvement. And then episode 17, just bang. It was a fantastic episode that launched the Hydra arc in the show, connects with Winter Soldier. And Hydra would be a consistent force, or at least a force that appeared through next in season 2 and 3, and a little bit in 5. And I thought it was really, really good. Grant Ward twist was amazing. And then it felt like the show just kept on keeping that consistent great quality. Season 2 was really good with Afterlife and with Hydra. It was all great. And then season 3 was better, especially in that start. Those first 10 episodes, and especially the last like 3 episodes where Rosalind Price is assassinated, then they have to go to the alien world. Then when they're on the alien world, they're all fantastic episodes. So good. And yeah, I really love it. And I will say the Hive stuff afterwards, but season 4, the Framework arc. The Framework arc is basically fantastic episode after fantastic episode after fantastic episode. So consistently amazing. And I also put this here for Inhumans, which I'll talk about in a second when I get to why it's underrated. But it's so, so good. I absolutely love it. Season 4 and season 5 were truly just 2 really great seasons. But season 7, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely the most well made. Each episode felt like it was connecting, it was a nice season. But this episode is to represent season 7, yes, but it's mainly to represent As I Have Always Been, which is arguably the best episode of the show. It's between that and Self Control. It's such a good time of episode. But overall, I think people acknowledge that it's really good, but no one ever really talks about it that much. And I do think the people who do I think some people overstate how good it is, and some people understate how good it is. So yeah. Anyways, next is Agatha All Along. I think the show really slid under the rug. I mean, of course, everyone was hating on it on the release. Who needs Agatha All Along? Then, oh wait, turns out it's a really good show. Okay, and I felt like people acknowledge that. But then nowadays, when I'm seeing the people I ranked every MCU show, they're like, it was okay in the middle of the road. It was solid, better than my expectations. I'm like, what? I thought Agatha. Oh, I forgot to include a picture of her. Anyways, Agatha, I thought she was so great. Catherine Hahn did an amazing job. Aubrey Plaza returning to Marvel. Well, yeah, returning to Marvel for the role of Death was just amazing. And Lilia Calderu, while she was a good character, her episode, Death's Hand in Mine, I think it's up there for greatest episode of any comic book show. I mean, it was it was that good. So that's why it's up here. Whoa. But yeah, Superman and Lois. Once again, I feel like it's an Agatha all along, or not really an Agatha all along. These next few are people acknowledge that's really good. It's just they don't talk about them, or no, they don't acknowledge how good. Like I know everyone is like Superman Lois season 4. Oh my god, it's so good. I think Superman Lois season 4, specifically season 4, is up there for greatest season of any comic book show. It was spectacular. The Doomsday, Death of Superman, the series finale, the regular guy where Superman's identity is revealed. It's all so good. Honestly, this show is just so amazing. It's so good, and I feel like people just don't bring it up in conversation enough for like when they talk about good comic book shows, and this is most definitely up there. I mean, especially these two are the most underrated Lois and Superman out there. I still think even Rachel Brosnahan, that's her name. Even after the Superman movie came out, I still think Elizabeth Dulac is the best Lois Lane, and I think Tyler Hecklin. I hope that's his name. I still think he's in the running for best Yeah, for the best Superman ever. I think he's right there with David Corenswet and Christian Reeves. Christopher Reeve. I can't say names, I guess. Anyways, next is Loki. Nope, it's Legion. Okay, Legion. Man, no one ever talks about how spectacular Legion is. Legion season 1 is one of the greatest seasons of any comic book show ever. I think it is a near perfect season. I know, not near perfect. Is a perfect season of television. It's perfectly built up. That pilot. I mean, I should have expected nothing less from the people who made Fargo, which is like the highest rate pilot of all time. The pilot is so good and introduces it so much. The visuals of the show is just so spectacular. And oh my god. Amal Farouk is such an amazing villain. I think he's up there for greatest comic book villain of all time. And Lenny Busker is a great original character and played by Aubrey Plaza. You can't not love her. David is amazing. Melanie Bird, I think, is one of the most underrated characters. She's such a good original character. And yeah, this is just show. I think it's Legion is a visual spectacle. I don't think there is any comic book show better looking than Legion. Loki gives it is close because I really love the visual effects, but the cinematography, the lighting, everything here is just perfect. It's so perfect. And Legion is so spectacular, but no one ever talks about it. No one literally ever talks about it. This falls in both camps. I feel like people, when they do talk about it, I feel like a lot of people correctly assume it, but no one ever talks about it. That's the problem. Like I was planning on making a Legion video, and but the problem was I could find literally no clips online of Legion. I could find nothing, literally nothing. There were like 5 scenes that show up. David beating the Time Eaters, the I Am Legion scene, um, the Rainbow Connection scene, the animated fight scene, and what's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding. That's all I could find, really. Like, seriously, Legion is so underrated. I was trying to get a multitude of scenes for Legion to make some video on it, and I just couldn't find it because they don't exist. Because no one talks about how good Legion is, and no one cares, and it makes me mad. Anyways, next one's Loki, as I said before. Loki is so good. And I don't need to explain why Loki's good. I think season 1's near perfection. Then season 2 is a masterpiece, in my opinion. One of the greatest seasons of any comic book show of all time. Right up there with like Daredevil season 3 and, as I said, Legion season 1. But ugh, no one, I feel like this is what really makes me mad. 2 scenarios. Everyone was like, oh my god, so perfect, so good, one of the best seasons of comic book television. Then X-Men 97. We have beef, X-Men 97. Yes, you're very, very good, but why do you overshadow my goat Loki? Why? Okay, that's my biggest question. Because Loki is so good. And then X-Men 97 came out, and everyone's like, oh, it's the best thing since Infinity War. It's the best thing Marvel's ever made. Best X-Men project, even though Logan exists. Like, seriously. Best thing on Disney Plus when Andor and Loki exist? How are we just ignoring Loki? And I feel like it was just so grinding my gears because X-Men 97, yes, really great season, but it has flaws and it's just so much worse than Loki. And I was so much in pain when people said that. And next one, no offense, I love Doomblazer, really do. But when he went on the Escape podcast and he was like, "Well, I really like Loki season 2, but I would only put it above Invincible season 2," that hurt me. That hurt me. I think Invincible season 2, or I think Loki season 2, not only landslides Invincible season 2, I think it dominates season 1 and season 3 of Invincible. I think Loki season 1 or season 2 is much better. I think Loki's just in general much better than Invincible. This show is peak, and no one ever talks about how peak it is. I'm getting mad. Like I'm getting mad because Loki's so peak, but no one ever talked about how peak Loki is. Anyways, next is My Adventure with Superman. I will admit I have not seen this, but I know everything that happens in it, and apparently it is very good. Yes, I probably should put it in the honorable mentions, but I didn't want to put 6 things in there, so I put it up here. Probably reason why it's unrated, maybe because it's animated. Who knows? Also, wait, I never talked about why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is underrated. Let me go back. Okay, I'm back. The reason why it's underrated is because is it MCU canon? Maybe. Maybe not. No one really knows because season 1, it could fit with the MCU canon, but Kevin Feige hates seeing humans, so he will most likely not make this show canon. And past season 5, it's like, oh my god, this is definitely not canon. So, yeah. Back to the slide. Okay. Jessica Jones. Listen, I don't think it's underrated per se. I don't think people bring up how amazing season 1 is. Season 1 is a very, very, very good season of television. It's right up there with like Netflix series other than Iron Fist. Pretty good with their season 1s. I mean, Daredevil season 1 is perfect. Punisher season 1 is fantastic. Jessica Jones season 1 is also fantastic. Although the reason why I put it up here is because I have not seen season 2 and 3. I haven't actually fully finished season 1. I'm getting there. I'm watching it in prep for Daredevil Born Again. Now, I'm probably not gonna watch season 2 and 3 because I hear those are bad. But Jessica Jones season 1 is very good. I don't hear that talked about enough. Also, Kilgrave, great villain. So, who is it? Who is the winner in this equation? So, my runner ups, my 4 ones, Mount Rushmore is Legion, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Superman Lois, and Legends of Tomorrow. This is hard. I think all of these are very underrated, but the first one I'm getting rid of is Superman Lois. I just don't think it's underrated enough because a lot of people watched it. A lot of people watched it over a lot of the Arrowverse shows. And people acknowledged that it was immensely good. I mean, people gave it 10 out of 10 when season 4 first came out. It's one of the most perfect endings to a comic book show ever. But the problem is, my only problem is people just don't compare it to other comic book shows and don't talk about it now. But that's just that applies to every show up here, except every show up here is more underrated. Anyways, next to go is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mainly just because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is beloved by who watched it. Everyone who watched it and stuck past that little midpoint in season 1 loved the show. Everyone who finished the show, I've never heard a negative review or someone say something negative about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's fantastic, it's so good, season 4 is amazing, right? Because that's all fair. But it's really underrated because a lot of people, I feel like, are afraid to try it out because it's not MCU canon. Like, I'm gonna be so real, it's not MCU canon. You can think it's MCU canon, and you can make your own convoluted timeline and reasons that why it's MCU canon. It's not. In my opinion, it's not MCU canon because it's in a loose pit where is it MCU canon? Is it not? I think it's not. But a lot of people will say it is. And to that, I disagree. But it just causes a lot of people to not watch it, and a lot of people don't bring it up in is it one of the best comic book shows of all time? When I think it deserves to be there, you know? So this is a hard one between Legion and Legends of Tomorrow. Which one is more underrated? And no, I like to say underrated. Like, I think Legends of Tomorrow, up out of the 4 on the runner-ups, is the worst. I think it was lesser compared to a lot of the shows on this list. Underrated. Most underrated does not mean the best. Most underrated means most underappreciated. Like, so that's why Legends of Tomorrow made it so high up. It's definitely not better than Superman Lois or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just more underrated than both of those, if that makes sense. But Legend of Tomorrow meets its end as Legion is the winner. My main reason why is because Legends of Tomorrow basically got the same Legion and Legend of Tomorrow had the same treatment. They're immensely good, but I guess got overshadowed by other Arrowverse shows, or for Legion's case, other Netflix shows. And it eventually just caused it that these shows, while really, really good, they aren't acknowledged. And they're both equally underrated, in my opinion. But the problem is, Legion blows Legends of Tomorrow's quality out of the park. Season 1 is so perfect. It's so good. Season 2, while a lesser season, I thought the first half was so fantastic. Then that middle stretch was just a bit awkward. But it was still really good season. It was still really, really good. And season 3 was back to being incredible, just slightly worse than season 1. So Legion is just consistently better than Legend of Tomorrow, and it's equally as underrated. So I had to give Legion the victory. And yeah, I mean, it's deserved. I think Legion is the most underrated comic book show of all time. It's incredible. If you're watching this video, get off it and watch Legion. It's amazing.